Yeah, I think that's working. I think. Okay. I think it's working. Someone let me know if it's not. I think the audio's on. I never know what I'm doing. If the music's too loud as well, let me know and I can adjust it. Okay. There we go. Cool, and it should be working here. Sorry, 2 seconds. There we go. Okay, it's working. What am I doing? I'm doing a just going to do a sketch, a few thumbnails, and then maybe a sketch of my comic. Just one of the visual development pieces for. Don't need that anymore. One of the visual development pieces for one of the characters' homes, and it's like a big, grand. I think I want to do the entranceway because a few scenes happen there. Like in my head, a few scenes that will be happening there. So I need to get a good idea of that layout. So I'm going to do a few thumbnails to do with that. And this is just some of the visual development. I can leave it on screen for now. Some of the visual development so far. So this is the kind of thing I would do. So this is the home. So the entranceway is kind of. Let me get a. There we go. Obviously the entranceway here steps down, and maybe this is a big open planned area. I can imagine a medium-sized door, and then like stairs coming up here, maybe either side of an open room. Something grand. And this is it from the front. So tall ceilings, etc, etc. And then there's a bunch of rooms all in here. And it's kind of like a he's kind of like a mad scientist, alchemist, anthropomorphic enthusiast, and that's his home. And where am I? And this is like there's the character right here, and he's just doing some study work on one of the other characters for the story. This is his little office room and his little like main experiment. And then I did call outs of this, which is what you are seeing here. So just some sort of like prop call outs. Can't get them all on the page, but you know what I mean. There we go. So I'll do something similar to this today. I'll just do, but I'll do like the room, how you saw it there, and I'll do call outs of a few of the props. And yeah, go from there. So, yeah, okay. That's just a sketch for something else. Normally I'll just start with a little bit of research. I have some things in my head, and I'm not going to do a whole bunch of reference gathering and research, so I'm just going to jump straight into it. Otherwise I'll be here and it'll be really boring. But you know, gather your references and your research and like put it on a separate monitor as I normally would. Then I'll create a little bit 16:9 thumbnail, and then yeah, just start sort of sketching loose. I've got some things up on this monitor here for reference, but mainly I just want to get some of the bad ideas out the way first. So bad ideas would be just super loose, and like I'm not even holding the pen properly kind of loose. I'm just sort of like letting it do whatever. Door down here, land, get a little bit of a perspective there. Door here, do the perspective like that. Some things on the side there, maybe an entrance to a second room. Something super simple. And then the start of like a staircase. And then right in the foreground here we can have the other staircase. Just ending. You know, just sort of getting really, really loose, quick ideas done. And what I might do actually is, for the sake of it, just create 4 of these super loose thumbnail templates, and then I can go into each one of those and just not have to worry about setting up each time or making it too clean. I'll even use the same layer just to get the sketches done out of the way. So that one there, I can imagine doorway, you're kind of looking down on it. There we go, something like that. Maybe that's... No, there's no window in the other sketch. But I'm not going to limit myself to what I've already done. I'm just going to try and like see what looks best and what kind of works. The character's very... what's the character? He's very kind of ostracized and lonely, but he once wasn't. So I might get a bit of decay in there, like he's neglectful of the environment. Just getting some of these really bad ideas out of the way. Just like, they're not bad ideas, they're just nothing ideas. You know, there's just like, it's not finished, it's unpolished, it's... I mean, I'm already getting ideas for... that I'll take through to the better thumbnails, but these are just super quick. I fatten the pen whenever I need to, just really don't care about detail, really just getting in the shape, especially foreground stuff. You can see this one's already much better than this one because my gesture lines are better. Proving that I'm kind of like warming up, therefore proving that I would have been bad even if I put the effort into this one, you know. So I'm just getting these bad ones out of the way. Maybe like a top-down, very simple grid just to help a little bit, so it isn't all bad. I'm using basic stuff like rule of thirds and things now. I'm not like completely, they're not completely awful. Like this one's got this one still has some sort of rule of thirds to it, you know, it's not amazing, but the door's kind of on this side and you got something over here to balance out the visual weight of the center of the screen, so there's something big over here, there's 2 medium-sized things to make up for it over here. You know, it's not the worst thing. They just are so generic, the ideas, that they don't really don't register to me as anything useful conceptually yet. Yeah, top-down idea, something like that. Again, with the rug coming over here, and we could have the stairs winding round, maybe up to like a balcony. What's underneath the stairs? Just doing some foreground stuff to make the background a little bit more interesting. Like it cuts the shape up of the background. pathway all the way through to like kitchen and whatever is underneath here. Maybe here could be a little storage room. Yeah, just playing with like shapes at the moment. Lots of squares, because squares are quite a stubborn solid shape. So like when I think about the character of the scientist, he's a little bit it's a little bit stubborn, a little bit well, he turns mad, so it's kind of like, you know, you gotta give a reason for that, but overall you can just illustrate the fact that he's a little bit stubborn through having like a lot of squares in the environment. Decayed then would illustrate that he's so stubborn that he, you know, he's neglectful of the environment that he's in, so he doesn't keep it clean, which illustrates again that he's a little bit too focused on work, too focused on something else other than sort of a nice balanced life of work and pleasure, or leisure. So yeah, it's looking a little bit dull and default at the moment, but I like the top-down view. Top-down views, I'm going to have to do like an orthographic top-down view anyway once I get the design, because, so like for example, actually I'll show you in a little bit, I'll do a few of them. So here's top-down view, and then we could have like a really low angle of like the door being opened or something, and like you can kind of see into the hallway. You can see the stairs. Yeah, and that's down there, and there's some sort of closet in there, right? And then paintings on the wall. As you hit this wall, you can go kind of left or right. There we go. Something simple like that, and then the balcony follows across maybe, and you can see like one of the bedroom doors here, and then the back, and then maybe this is one big window at the back letting all the light in. No, it can't be a window, can it? Because but I'm not going to like limit myself to whatever, so it could be a window letting all the light in. But light being let in is good. I mean, for like the more you control the light, the more you can do with it. So in the daytime on a field, there's not a lot you can do to control the light, apart from clouds and maybe the odd tree and stuff. But with interiors, there's a lot you can do to control it. So, you know, and control is control. So you can like make the light say different things a lot more easily when you're in the interiors, depending on how much light you're letting in. And of course, like the less light you let in, the more it seems like, the more you can play with it, but the more you can make it evil, the more you can make it nuanced. But yeah, I'm just gonna chuck some really quick value over a few of these, just so, because the sketch is so sketchy, sometimes I'm gonna go over this one a little bit more detail as well, now that I've warmed up slightly with those three. Really big paintings on the wall. It's kind of like a royal old, he's a scientist of an ancestry full of scientists, and just like he's a super smart boy. Maybe there's light coming in above there. No, I might have to do just like that again. There we go, something like that. And maybe we can have like a statue here that's at the bottom of one of the stairs, just to make it a little bit more interesting. No, we can't, because you'd have to have one there as well. You could do the edge of it there, I suppose. Something like that. Cool. Yeah, I'm just going to chuck a tiny bit of value over these just to give it a little bit of a better read. So maybe light can be coming from inside here, and it's kind of illuminating this area. That way you still get a light and you might get a focus, and that could be the focus of the image, but you don't get too much light. Then like the lights could be turned off in this area. Paintings would generally be darker. Under here would be darker because of it. And yeah, there's not a lot of light in this scene. It's a very constricted, it's a very constricted scene. See if I can get some reference. Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah, so with this one, I'll do something, try something else, but there's no point trying things that are like completely opposite to where you're going. You always want to narrow down, as you visually develop, you want to kind of narrow down the ideas until you're streamlined and you're working on only things that would work with the brief you're given. In this case, the brief I've given myself. This thing here, I mean, it's very symmetrical, so I would keep the light reinforcing that, so I would do the same thing here. I'd have these doors here with the light turned on, so there's activity in both of these, but not in the main hallway, suggesting that, well, there's someone that lives here, but there's not, because there's not a lot of activity in the hallway or the entranceway to the door to the way out. Why? All that says to me is that he doesn't use it a lot, so there isn't a lot of people coming or going. You know, if you're in here, you're kind of in here and you're not using the exit to go out, and people outside are not using the entrance to come in. So it says a lot about the character and the environment there. So I just want to keep it symmetrical. There'd be these pictures along the wall here, all symmetrical. That's very dull. When something's symmetrical, it's very boring, it's very dull, but if that's the emotion that you're going for, then you can achieve it with something symmetrical. It's not necessarily a bad thing, because everything's relative, right? So for the exciting moments in your story, they're going to stand out as being way more exciting if you've got something dull before or after it. Just like orange looks a lot more like orange when you have blue next to it. Or light looks very light when you have dark around it. This one, I'm going to go a lot more light, because why not try something else? Early stages of development. I'm going to do quite a lot of light coming in here. And this doorway is open anyway, isn't it? So what I'm going to do is have this block contain most of the lighting, because of the light coming in through here. I'm going to have illuminated the steps down here, and illuminate all this top bit up here, illuminate this side because the light will be hitting it, light be hitting that, etc. Light will be hitting this side of the door. And then with this bit, I'm just going to darken the bits that might seem like they should be a little bit darker. So just like material darkness, so like the steps by here be darker than the ones on the side, the wood be darker than the stone because the way the wood is facing, and it creates a more of a foreground effect. Framing the inside a little bit better, then you can add sort of small value changes, but I've grouped the value here to just this square shape, which again the square shape here is really good for just making it seem a little bit more boring, right? It reinforces all the other squares in the image. And finally, this one, which I think is my favourite, just because it offers a little bit more, and by the time I got to it, I had warmed up a little bit. I don't know what to do with the lighting though. The lighting could be coming from this window that we have here, so this could do something opposite to the ordinary and just sort of illuminate this top part. Yeah, just illuminate this top part here and have the rest kind of be soaked in darkness. Especially the angles that aren't facing what might get some like residual lighting from the window that's behind us here. So like this bit up here, this will be all dark. Down here too will be all dark, as it's casting a shadow down here to there at least, and then you could do some slight illumination of this area as the light sort of hitting it, and then maybe it cuts off there, something like that. These in darkness, all of this darkness. Maybe the edges of like the material here be a little bit brighter. Sorry. But yeah, so for thumbnails, super quick, super easy, basic stuff. Nothing too exciting. It's just a matter of getting the bad ideas out of the way. And now I'll take some of what's working and yeah, just check it into another one, another little just do some more detailed stuff. That's basically what I'm trying to say. So same again. Now I'll do like one at a time or something, concentrating on them a little bit more. I'll duplicate this so I save the originals, and I'll shrink them down, and then I can reference them when I'm doing my sketch here. There we go, new layer, so I can keep the frame. Yeah, I might do one of those top-down things. It's just, it's not supposed to be like a finished illustration. I won't take it all that far. It's just a concept piece that's used, like I'm using a camera and placing it in and around the scene to try and find the best stuff. Once I have something that's okay and that's a little bit detailed, and I can work some ideas into it, like the architecture of the stairs, what kind of paintings are being painted, what are they on the wall, the architecture itself and the interior and the the layout, which is probably the most important at this stage. Once I have all that, I can render out the concept a little bit further and then do call outs of some of the more important things. And once I've done those call outs, then where they get time by themselves to kind of be designed. Once that's done, then you can do like a full render of the environment, because you know what those smaller props are and you can kind of get those in. But until then, it's just all ideas. So what are we doing? I'll probably do, yeah, so I'll get a little grid. There we go. There's other ways and easier ways to do it. Actually, yeah, I'll just do it the easier way right now. So it's just so it's a little bit more exact. But just get your lines, hold shift to have your lines in place. You can even hold it. That tiny little diagonal line is caused because it's going from the bottom here to the next line. But that's never really a problem. And then once you've got that, just do Control J to duplicate it. Transform it. Hold shift to snap it to an angle. And then shrink them down. elongate them, match them as this, and then you got like a perfectly square grid, and then from there you can manipulate this grid however you want. So you can do it slightly isometric or like top down. Maybe I want it a little bit more angled. Shrink it away so you can tell more what the grid is. There we go, something like that maybe. So I've got more of an angle now, more of a lower angle than the top down would have given me. You can see it's a little bit more clean. It doesn't need to be at this stage still, you're still sketching, so it's still fine. Put that underneath that, then you get that. There we go. Okay, so maybe a doorway here, like I had it in that one there. I don't want it to be too stiff, so I'm not going to follow the grid exactly. Okay, I'm thinking of now having things like maybe bookcases. Bookcases to show that they're quite smart. It's a quick and cheap way to illustrate sort of intelligence, is to have like a library there, or wealth. In a large grand interior. Old pictures as well would be good, because that sort of illustrates whoops, didn't give the door enough room to breathe. There we go, foundational wood either side of the door. Nice things. What else are we thinking? If there was a wall here, it can kind of be, if the door was there, it can kind of have nicer arches. There we go, triangle says a little bit like it's slightly more dangerous, or it's slightly more it's just edgy, right? It's slightly more dangerous, slightly more enthusiastic, slightly more energetic. Squares say the opposite. Circles say like a soft round shape. So I'm trying to work with maybe a little bit of squares and maybe a few triangles here and there, but mainly squares. Maybe as a display of wealth they can have like a big, perhaps it should be squared, but they can have like a big, don't know what they called on the floor, but it's like a mural, but it's like just a stone design on the floor here. Like that'll get a proper call out, and then that can be like illustrated a little bit more. Over here leads to the other room. There we go. Maybe there's more books over here. Carpet again, so it's like really wealthy, really high profile. Ground floor there for the steps, and then you have like 1-2 steps, and then you'll have the pillars, and then they go up and around. Maybe it doesn't go up that high, maybe it just goes up to here, and then you have like a small place to watch over. Yeah, I quite like that then, because the mirror would be a lot lower and you can kind of control it more within the environment. Somewhere there it would be. I can't turn out, so I'll turn here, but maybe it's like steps down, but then that'll make these steps here asymmetrical. Asymmetrical is like a good thing for someone that's unhinged or a little bit well, just it goes along with classic characters like I suppose Sonic would be asymmetrical. He'd work really well as an asymmetrical character if they added, like, he's very symmetrical, but if they added, you know, one eyebrow down and one eyebrow up, makes the character seem a little bit like they're doing a cool, wacky expression, and that goes hand in hand with sort of what asymmetry offers you, which is, I don't know how to explain it really. Like, it's unhinged. If symmetry is boring and dull, it's the opposite to that, right? If symmetry is like boring, dull, but also like stable and reliable. Yeah. So I don't know, maybe because the character was nice and then they went a little bit evil, I could do it so the foundations are quite stable. So like stairs coming up here could be all quite symmetrical. But then the asymmetry comes from something like the owner forgetting to maintain the house, so one of the foundational beams collapsed, and just sort of brought down a bunch of rubble. So then that would mean that like there's a bunch of rubble over here with a big beam and stuff, and it's very, very asymmetrical now, isn't it? Because you crushed that side, and then you got all the rocks over there and the rubble over here, and they just haven't picked it up because they don't care, because all they do is wake up from their bedroom, go downstairs, go into the office, work, and then straight back upstairs into the bedroom, or maybe quickly diverge to the kitchen, and then back up to the office and to the bedroom. You know, so that says that they are so engrossed in their work that they can't really be bothered or have the time to fix something like this. You could think of it as being like a decayed ruin, then being like no one's living there, but then with things like lights being on in the illustration, that'll illustrate that there is someone there and there is life there, and especially if there's electricity and the electric light is on, then that's great, you know, because it's all about reinforcing an idea, and you use different storytelling and tips and tricks like that to tell a story, really, or the story that you want to tell as accurately as possible, I suppose. But yeah, that could be something we do with asymmetry with this. It's looking a little bit square at the moment, so I might add some sort of rounder shapes in here, and maybe do a rounded in a little bit of library piece. So maybe there's a chair there, maybe they look at something, just throwing ideas at the wall and seeing what's sticking at the moment. So that's one. I'm just gonna duplicate that and flatten it to this. Okay, another one. I think with this grid, see if I can manipulate it to give me a different perspective. Ooh. Cool. Okay, yeah. I can see. I just moved it around a little bit until I saw something, and then I think maybe I can do the perspective of like coming from above, maybe. So you can see all of the like the foundational beams over here. You can see the top of the bookshelves and stuff, and as they meet the ceiling, you can start to see the decay on the ceiling here, the paint coming away, something over there, and as you get down to here, maybe this can be the top of like that window that we put behind, adjacent to the door. So there's a little bit of a dramatic angle, but it's just different ways of getting inspiration, right? So I just saw these lines, I imagine them being above, obviously because they're coming down, you kind of imagine them being above. Here you can have the top here, as it comes down here, this will be like the door to like where the bedroom was. No, where the office was, sorry. There we go, some more decay around here, especially mold coming from the windows and stuff. The chandelier coming down. So yeah, just concept art is full of just getting your ideas down on paper as fast as you can, getting all the bad ideas out of your system, and then through reference and research you should land yourself with a lot more solid ideas. Something like that. There we go. Now we've got like, we've started to, you know, explore different angles and different parts of this little area. There we go. That would be a lot lower. There we go, that's better. Some decay around here as well. But yeah, interesting shot. So that's another one. Oops, there we go. I got like quite a low angle now. A little bit of a Dutch tilt. So I'm just going to do the door. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to tilt it. Nope. What's that? There we go. So I'm just going to tilt it so I don't have to accommodate the Dutch tilt just yet, and then I'll just give myself a reference to line up against. There we go, and then I'll tilt it the other way at the end, just slightly easier. Here's the door. Maybe this is like super far away, so I'm going to do the... I'm not going to bother keeping those. I'm just going to do the handle super small over here, so it's like one of these extremely large tall ceiling doors with like 5 of these on them. Hinges. Just breaking it up into small, medium and large on either side. Sorry. Maybe a little engraved design to help with the storytelling on there. Handles here. Big columns either side. maybe either side could have these decadent little, not little, massive statues. Just keeping again with the symmetry theme. Human size reference would be something like this. Just sometimes it helps to just chuck that in now, just while we're looking at the details. Another bookcase. And kind of close off that corner then. There we go, something more focused on the door. Okay, I think I got a good idea of what is in this environment and what it kind of looks like. I don't have an amazing idea, but sometimes you need to switch it up and see if you can get any more success with a different direction. So I'm just going to duplicate this and flatten these three. So we do have sort of 3 designs here. Sorry, 3 more sketches of the environment. 1, 2, 3. Flatten them all together. There we go. So it's coming along. I don't know how long I've been doing this. How long's it been streaming for? I don't know. Oh, I can't see it. Am I gonna see it? Maybe I haven't been streaming. Oh, there's been chats. Sorry, I didn't get any of the chats on my on my thing here. It says top chat, but there's nothing there. Oh, sorry if you've been talking. Let me see. Hello, Moonchild. Hello, everyone. This inspired me to practice some environments and made it look less intimidating with how quickly you set up your grid. Yeah, it's super. Yeah, when you like, you can crush everything down to something really simple. 47 minutes ago says my player. Oh, that's not too bad then. Yeah, then within an hour's time we'd have like a, what's that, 7 sketches and then 1 top down. Well, I'll do like a sort of more definitive top down thing and then maybe get a definitive sketch out of this session. Hey Matt, good to put a face to a face to the name. Thank you. Rainy MK2. Oh, Rainy MK2, yeah, the guy that did the or girl, I don't know, that did the Blue Bridge server, right? Hello, I'll be chilling in the background. Vine's design, thank you. Yeah, no, sorry, I didn't get any of the chats. It's not working, and my OBS isn't working either. I was just chilling, doing my own stuff. I'm gonna put these. I'm gonna shrink these down because they don't need to be that big. And that's that, and that's the grid. I can get rid of the grid, and there we go. Cool. So I got these and these. Flatten these 2 together, and there we go. Okay. Correct, and bloke, yeah. Bloke. No, it's good. No, thanks for doing the server. I haven't worked on Blue Bridge since July or August. I think because most of the art was done, and we were just waiting for the I'm going to work on it actually this weekend on Sunday a little bit, but most of the art was done and the game was kind of done, so we just sort of finished with it. I'm not sure if my light, am I getting any light? Can you see anything? It doesn't matter. There we go. But yeah, finished Blue Bridge recently, so it's super fun. It was really good to work on that, and yeah, you did a good job with the server. I just wanted people to see the dev, so that when people reply, they know that there's a dev connected to the name, because most of the game servers that I follow have that, and I think it just says the name of the studio and then the people, and obviously with the color associated, people will know that their reply is like a legit reply, and as opposed to like someone saying something that they might have thought of and then it might end up being wrong and then people get the wrong idea. I don't know. I just thought it was I just thought it was fine. What's that from? Oh yeah, that's, yeah. Anyway, what am I doing? I'll do like a top-down orthographic view now to put like, yeah, you were just really focused. Yeah, I was. Yeah, yeah, that's great. Can't wait. Pizza's in the oven. But yeah, I agree. But Kylie didn't tell me who it was. Yeah, no, I know. She's so slow with everything. She's so slow. Bless her. But no, I've yeah, no, you did a great job. Thanks. Did a great job. What's it doing? Oh, right, orthographic. So now I'll do something like, usually like you take as long as you want, but I normally take maybe for a client a couple of hours doing those kind of thumbnails and maybe exploring more detail. Reference and research is like such a big one as well. Gonna move that onto there actually. There we go. That's better. Cool. Yeah. What was I doing? Oh yeah, like an orthographic of this. So just all I want is just sort of like a top-down view. So it would be a little square, and then you do everything like bird's eye view. So you just make sure that you get all the key features in. So I definitely want a door. Obviously, outside this door, it's like a little wooden pathway, so that goes up there. The door, these walls, then maybe I'll do it symmetrical. So these doors with the bookshelves and maybe the statues on them, maybe I'll keep those there. Sort of wooden path, wooden frame there. Outside the wall I'm not too concerned about yet. Inside here maybe have like did we want the rug? The rug's a square, it's really good to get that in there. Maybe underneath that can be some sort of mural. Then we have this big open area where like most of the action might be taking place, and then the stairways here, and the last step is there, so stairs come down there. So yeah, now that we got this, it kind of helps a lot, right? Then the outer wall, or this could be the big window, and then this is doorway to bedroom and somewhere else, and then underneath the stairs would be something too. It's too thick, maybe something like that. Yeah, and then you got this here, and then you got these doors here, and they lead out somewhere. So it's a little bit square, it's a little bit uninspired at the moment, but yeah, that's the point, right? We're supposed to sort of visually developed to find the interesting things. So the point of the story is a guy, scientist, recluse, living up in the mountains, out of the way of everyone. Used to be super friendly scientist, now he isn't. He's jaded by failures and failed designs. So I'm trying to illustrate that, and this, I mean, there'll be a before and after with this scene. So that's a really good idea to to work on a scene that is used so many times. So for example, down here somewhere, that's that. So for example, yeah, this room is going to see a lot of transformation. Like the boy inside here will be in here, and then there'll be a time where he's not, which will be, it depends on what happens in the story. I don't know exactly the ending yet, but he's very active in this room, so maybe the paper on the floor makes it look a little bit like he's inactive, or that he's too active that he can't pick up the papers on the floor. Either way, you can illustrate in two different ways, right? It can mean two different things. If there's no lights on and there's lots of papers, he's probably not been there in a while. If there's fresh ink on the paper and there's papers, he's been there a while, but he's not very not focused on cleaning up. So it, much like the way a C chord means something quite happy when it's surrounded by D chords, maybe if it has an F chord there, the C chord is melancholy, because it's all relative. So you just want to kind of reinforce as many ideas you can to illustrate what you're trying to do. Something like messy papers on the floor isn't just one thing. It doesn't mean just sadness. It could mean, like I said, messy or unkempt or don't have the time or etc. But one of the things I did was this environment. So if I go back to I'll do a quick run through of the comic. Sorry. I'll do a quick run through of the comic so far. So page 1, just panning down. I'll do a little this. Page 1 here, pans down underneath the trees, just to give you, it's an establishing shot. So sorry, had to grab pizza ready for a long night of dev. I know what you mean. Enjoy the pizza. Envious. Establishing shot. Then you move down through the trees. Again, still an establishing shot. It's still quite big, but you can tell that this is like, you can tell that this is within this forest and it's in the middle of nowhere. There's no man-made structures. There's nothing. I could do a better shot to show that there's no man-made structures, that you're in the middle of nowhere maybe. But I did want that kind of pan down to a close foreground shot, and then that foreground becomes the foreground in this shot too, because the tree is the focus. So we got the secondary character here walking this pathway, and the glow coming from the tree, and then the secondary character is running away from something to illustrate that you got a flower. Very kind of like a Japanese inspired comic page here of like slow movement of storytelling. So there's not a lot happening here, but you have it, and then you have like the fox stomping through here, and the petals are cut, illustrating that he's running through with a lot of force. And then you have this shot to establish what's happening here, which is a lot of fear, a lot of condensed shapes, and maybe a face in the background chasing after the fox. And then the fox kind of spies the glowing tree, wonders what it is. This shot is again to illustrate that there's like a lot of weight around the fox. There's a lot of pressure on the fox to make a decision really quickly. If any of you have read the book Framed Ink, which I assume a lot of you have, then you'll notice this kind of very simple, easy to add pressure on a character composition. And then you've got this one where the fox looks and sees the glow, recognizes the glow, kind of goes forward into it. And then there's a few pages missing, I think. But the fox essentially, maybe I did this sketch up here somewhere just to illustrate that. Anyway, there's a page in between. But the point is, I did more of a sketch of this one. Where is it? I finished this page. Actually, I'll open it. I'll show you. Yeah, here it is. So this page then, you notice that there's a boy in there. There's a little bit of bouncing around, like there's a little bit of I don't know, you know, there's something happens before the fox kind of realizes something. But then the boy's here, the fox makes a mistake and wakes him up. I wakening up here. That's not the final dialogue. And then the steam comes out of the boy because he's half a automaton. He's like half robot because of the scientist. And this is the fox running away. You got the rock here, exclamation marks for like wow wow. And then fox behind it, slow again, waking up, realizing that it's kind of okay, it's just a little boy. It's not like a big scary monster, despite the size of the cloud. And yeah, anyway, so this inside of the tree that we're in now, this scene, quite a lot happens here. The two characters meet. It's the it's the scene set for how you're introduced to the boy in this way. Is how you're introduced to the fox, really, and they both kind of meet in this place. And before they move from the inside of this tree, a lot needs to happen narratively. So yes, it basically is an important place. So because it's such an important place, I wanted to was there any more? No, there's just sketches of the environment too. I wanted to do a call out of it, so I did a call out here and a little color key of what it could look like. I think I changed the colors since then, but yeah, there's so I want to set the scene, and I can do this then with the boy there and without the boy, with the smoke. Most important thing is just that, you know, you are giving time, love and affection to something that deserves it, because it's important to the story, it's an important scene. It's the same with the character. You give the character a lot of time. Oh, my hair's so long. You give the character a lot of time to develop. To the visual development, you want to give the environments the same kind of love and attention that they deserve, especially if they're the backdrop for everything that's going to be happening, or a lot of stuff that's going to be happening. So I did that same thing here, quick sketch of that and a quick sketch of these. The earlier you get like one or two sketches down on paper, the earlier you'll find out the what's working and what's not. I think these two, I'll like join these together actually. These two, when we still exploring that area, maybe the boy is hanging up high there and like he's covered in vines and stuff, and maybe the way the light hits him could be kind of poetic in a way, right? Maybe. Taylor Stuck, love the top right, love the fox. Oh, thanks mate. Cheers. Looking great. Is the plan for this to be a webcomic series or one-off? I suppose it's just the plan was everyone's got a story, right? Every artist has an OC or a story that they've developed around an OC that they've made, and I just wanted to tell a nice story. I had this idea back in 2012. I've never really talked about it to anyone really about it. It's always been a theme. Like whenever I didn't know what to do, I'd be like, I'll just do something for the fox story, you know. So I did that. But yeah, this is part of it too, and this is the scientist's entrance room. I think this is enough to like kind of go off to give a better idea. I wish I had like a reference mood board though, but it's a little bit boring doing that on stream. Could have done it before, I suppose. But yeah, I'm thinking something like neoclassical, maybe even earlier. And yeah, as you can see, it's very quick to get ideas down on paper, especially if you're not married to them, if you're just loose, knowing that they're just shapes and ideas. Okay, I can go for another like 10 minutes and then I have to go to the gym. But yeah, where can we go from here? So I'll do I'll take this like top-down view here and do something that uses this orthographic as a clean reference, and then maybe I can add to it from there then. Oops. There we go. Just gonna do a rough one this time. Here we go. But yeah, I'd love for it to be a comic, like a web series, obviously, just sort of like maybe once I get I have a lot of the story, it's all in the head. I'm doing this to get it out of the head and into the world. So yeah, I'd love for it to be a webcomic, and I think it could be good as like a 5, 6, 7 part series with maybe like 10, 15 pages each or something of that size. It was a game once, actually. The lead programmer on the game on Blue Oak Bridge that Rainy MK2 did the server for is well, I'd forgotten that sentence. Oh, the lead programmer for that game, yeah, was the programmer that was helping me make this idea into a game. It was a bit of a like a what was that old game? Eco. Like 2 people helping each other in doing menial tasks throughout a dense forest filled with like Ori and the Blind Forest, Rayman Legends art style, with the comic books being the story in between each kind of level. And it wasn't very big, it wasn't very ambitious, and we made quite a decent amount of progress on it, but it never got anywhere. I just sort of used it as an avenue to do the art for this project, and I think the programmer, Isabel, her name was, she did, it was her first Unity project and stuff, so it's really good. And then when was that, like 6 years ago? 6 years later, I get her in to help with the Blue Oak Bridge project as well. And then she couldn't carry on with that, but it's like she started the foundational work for it, which is fun. Personal projects, love it. I definitely have an idea as well, just never feel ready for it. Got to snap out of that or else I'll be there forever. Yeah, it's the same thing. I've had this since 2011, 12, and it's just like, you should see some of the old, actually I'll show you some of the old art for it. I was going to put it on Instagram as like a glow up thing, but yeah, I'll show some of the old art for it. Here's some of it. So if I zoom in, you can see like Fox Boy. He was in the ground, like covered in vines first, which I think is like, it's not very it's not very dramatic, just being dead in the ground there, or like unconscious in the ground. Boy walks over. He sees the a name tag or something on the floor, says the name. Boy wakes up, very like super basic. The steam coming out of the ground is kind of cool. Fox runs away, hides behind the rock, peeps out. So you can see this, and this is all from like, I don't know, 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago. You can see that it's kind of like the same, and then the boy there, and then that's the boy what he used to be. I don't think it's a great design to represent the boy anymore, just like it's too round, too cute with shapes and stuff. This, too much, I don't know, I just don't like it. This and the boy, Fox over here, you can see the level design stuff here as well. So we had like, Fox related stuff, things only the fox could do, things only the boy could do, and with that you'll like combine together to create like a nice little thing to overcome menial tasks. Really old art here, not very great stuff, gonna skip over that nice and quick. Forest related stuff here, I like this palette, but like, yeah, that's kind of what the game was going to be like. Professor here working on in his office, and mysterious ghost hand owl thing here showing the boy where the professor lives in the old town. So yeah, it's kind of like, you can see it's developed from that into something, into what I've done recently, just giving it more of a where is it, I don't know, but yeah, this I think is still a house on the top of the cliffs, but it's more square design now as opposed to that, which is more like triangles and spiky sharp shapes. It's more angular, maybe it's more exciting, whereas I kind of want to make it a little bit boring, but it was exciting. Maybe the color fade could add, like, you know, desaturate the colors, and that could add to it maybe. Can you hear the audio, by the way? Is this a good audio volume? I wasn't sure. I know you could hear me, but is the audio good in the background? I'm not even sure what's playing. How do I get there? There we go. Nintendo Lo-Fi. Is that any good? recognise the ghosty hand pointing piece level design is fun too. Thanks. Yeah, no, it's on my some of my portfolios and stuff. I'd redo it now if I could, I think. But yeah, that's all the old art. There's some like even worse stuff. Like I'll show you on Instagram later. I'll post on my story or something if you want to go and follow that. I can post it on there later. There's some really bad stuff on there. I can't even hear background stuff. Only your voice. Oh, can you not really? Okay, what if I turn it up? That is quiet, wasn't it? That's too loud now. I'm going off in 5 minutes actually, so it's no pressure, but just for next time, so I know kind of volume. You can't hear it at all? No. It says it's playing. Yeah, let's go ahead with this then. Just gonna give it more of an angle. Still nothing on my end. Yeah, I wouldn't worry. Yeah, no, it's okay. I wouldn't worry. That's strange. I'll want to fix that. So thinking super quick now, just to get down on paper, just one more design. So what do we got? We got the door being super low. I like that. I'll get a reference in here for scale of character. So it's a big environment, big door here. Chunky out bits of the like Crash Bandicoot Spyro style chunkiness here. There we go, something like that. And then you've got the bookcases here. There we go. And on either side. And then you got the statues there, and get one in, that's nice. And then you got the base of the other one there. So that's already looking kind of nice. I think we don't need to give attention to the door because it's not being used. So it's like it doesn't make any sense that it doesn't make any sense that that we add any leading lines go into the door. It's just kind of you might take away any focus from the door, and that'll be fine because we're not using the door at all. So I think maybe like a smaller mural on the floor here just adds a little bit of gravitas. It makes it seem a little bit more grand, like we want. What was after the bookcase? Oh yeah, just the wall. Maybe like some maybe like a rounded archway. I'll square off the archway actually, just so everything remains consistently square. There we go. And then you've got another big picture either side. Then what happens now is that's in there, and then a little bit afterwards you get the base of the stairs. There we go, and right about here you'll get the pillars and the plinths. Something like that. This could be a little thing. If the character scale, those stairs look huge, so I'm just going to shrink them down a little bit. Even more maybe, I think. There we go. So good to have a little scale reference in there. Big wide stairs at the bottom here, and then plinth base, and then they start to ascend. So it comes around, doesn't it? So it comes around here. just about getting the second level there. I think if we zoom out a bit more, we can get a little bit more in there. Something like that. So you got that in there. Yeah, that's a little bit better. I'm going to move this around down a tiny little bit. Where would the other stairs be? Here, and kind of have the plinth showing there just to show that there's more stairs. And then what do we have here? It's just a wall down, so I could do like just to illustrate that there is like a second layer up here a little bit. It'll be the same size as this one here, just to show that kind of it moves around maybe, and there's a lot more than you might think. A little landscape one here helps the stairs show that they're going up, because if that's going straight, then these must be going up if they're at an angle. There we go, something like that. Nice little skirting board. There we go, maybe this can be elongated a little bit. I'm not quite sure what to do with that area yet. But no, we're getting somewhere. Just need to do a little bit more research into like neoclassical architecture in here to help a little bit with this kind of stuff. And then mix that up with the kind of the rough character stuff. Like, you can never have too many sketches. It just keeps going and going until you've got the full character design. Maybe here we can have the rug leading down, because then it adds another square in the environment just to make it more like, more sturdy, more stable, more rough, more boring, more all those words. But yeah, I think every time I do a stream I'll do a little bit more on this, or at least this project. I think this one was an environment, but next I might do a comment page, or I'll do a character or something. I'll just use it as a means to get the project sort of up and running. And because it's really good, because I'm using the same things as I would in the industry for this project, so I can talk the way through why X and Y are done, and my process of doing things. And I'm so small. Here we go. My process of doing things, so yeah, it gives you a little bit of a better idea of going from start to finish. But yeah, I think I'll leave it there for now. Nothing too amazing, obviously, but we got a bunch of sketches done, and we all know the reason why it's been done now, and I can reference this video whenever I want to mention the project and stuff about it. But yeah, so just a bunch of quick thumbnails, super preliminary exploration of one of the characters' homes, or one of the rooms that I'm going to be using. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed and learned something, or learned a little bit, or maybe even just came for the music that wasn't playing. But yeah, take care. Thank you very much for joining. Bye bye bye.